Sum of the interior and exterior angles in a triangle. The angle sum of a triangle theorem tells you that the sum of the interior angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degrees. The exterior angle theorem tells you the measure of an exterior angle is equal to the sum of the measures of the two interior and opposite angles. For example, if I look at angle E, it's equal to angle A plus angle B. Similarly, angle F would be angle A plus B, and angle D would be angle B plus C. If the exterior angles are joined, they'll create a spiral. So if we dragged all the exterior angles together, like you see here for angle E and angle F and angle D, you can see how they overlap and create three angles that are all joined and create one big full rotation of 360 degrees. So if you want to see me drag that, you can see where I drag this to there. And I drag angle D over here, and they all overlap and create a circle. So the sum of the exterior angles in a triangle is 360 degrees. If I ask you to find the measure of the missing angle in the convex polygon below, we need to state the geometric properties used to solve it. We can look and realize that we have the triangle, and the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, or ASTT, the angle sum of a triangle theorem, tells me to add it all up and set it equal to 180 degrees. So I have 32 plus 113 plus A is 180. And again, my knowledge of solving equations tells me to add 32 and 113 together. And then to isolate for A, I need to subtract 145 degrees from both sides of the equation to keep the equation balanced. And we end up with A is 35 degrees. Pause the video for a minute and try and think about what you know for this shape. Hopefully you paused it and you realize that when we solve this triangle, the easiest thing to solve for is x first, because they are on a straight line. So x plus 80 is 180. And I solve for x by subtracting 80 from both sides. And this is hard to read, the pen's not cooperating with me lately. So x is 100 degrees. So I'm going to put that onto my triangle. The next one that's easy to solve for is angle M, because I see these two markers here, which tells me I have an isosceles triangle, which means this angle here and this angle here, the two angles at the bottom of the equal sides, are equal. So angle M is 38 degrees. So now, let's get a different color here. That's 38 degrees right there. This is 100 degrees. And if I look here, I have a big triangle here. And I know two sides of my triangle. So I know n plus 100 plus 38, all the angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees. So I work with that. My knowledge of equations simplified before I solve the equation. Now to get n by itself, I have to subtract 138 from each side. And I end up with n is 42 degrees. Finally, last thing I have to solve for is P. Well, P and N make up that angle up there. So if I did P plus N plus the 38 degrees down here and the 38 degrees down there, I've got another triangle which has a sum of 180 degrees. You'll notice I cheated, by the way, here. I forgot to state my geometric properties, which would cost me marks on a test. So I'm going back and putting those in. And I also know that n has a value of 42, so I should have put that in. That should be subtract 138, it's not very clear. And 38 and 38 is 76. P plus 118 is 180. And in order to solve for P, I need to subtract 1/18 from both sides. And P is equal to 62 degrees. And that's actually done very neatly for you here. And that's what I'll post for you to copy. Finally, just want you to think for a few. Is it possible for a triangle to have two 90-degree angles? Pause the video and think about that before you continue on with the answer. Since we know the angles in a triangle add to be 180 degrees, if there were two 90-degree angles, then we're at 180 degrees before we consider the third angle. So therefore, it's not possible for a triangle to have two 90-degree angles. Okay? Because then you would not have a right triangle. Or sorry, then you would not have a triangle because you'd have two right angles. And you could not have a third side. No. Sorry.